Learn how to do Coyote Time in the Godot engine. But what is it? It's a short delay when the player can jump after a few frames after leaving the ground. Many popular games use it. Hollow Knight. Here the player doesn't touch the ground and it's still able to jump. Touching the ground, not touching the ground, and jump. Celeste. Not touching and jump. Coyote. Quack quack. Not touching and jump. You can play this tutorial on itch.io, link in the description. Let's jump into the tutorial. Let's create a new scene for our tutorial. I prepared a simple background with collision shapes and the dwarf character. The player has a base script to move around and jump. Let's go inside the player's scene and add a timer node. Let's call it Coyote Time and in the properties turn one shot on. In this way the timer won't loop itself. In the player script we can see a simple logic in the jump logic function. When the player is on the floor and the action game jump is pressed, then the player makes a jump. We need to start Coyote Timer when the player is on the floor. It's because we want to add a short amount of time after the character is not on the floor. So we need to modify main condition too. If not Coyote Timer is stopped, which means the same as if Coyote Timer is playing, but I didn't find that function, and press the button. We also need to remember to stop the timer after jumping. I've added a text display for Coyote Timer. When the character is on the floor, then it shows 10 seconds, because it starts each frame. You can see that I am able to jump after falling off the edge, but only during the Coyote Timer. You can experiment with the time by changing the timer value. I think that something around 0.2 seconds is fine for casual games. Remember to turn off the timer after jumping, otherwise the user can multi-jump during a Coyote Timer. Maybe it's a good idea for power-up. Now let's add an input buffer for situations when the player presses the button just before touching the ground, to make it more responsible. Let's add a new timer inside the player and call it Input Buffer Timer. Turn one shot on in Properties. Inside the player script, we should start Input Buffer Timer when the player presses the game jump button, and make jump only if not Coyote Timer is stopped and not Input Buffer Timer is stopped. Also, a new timer should stop after the jump. Now I can press the jump button before landing and the character is going to make a jump. Setting it around 0.2 is good, but of course it depends on your game. Inside a tutorial game on itch.io you can turn on off the timers to check the difference by yourself. Link on the description. And that's all for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, leaving a like and subscribe for more. Bye!